So hi guys, it's Dawn here. Welcome to Tinook Lake, and today I want to talk a little bit about being a solitary practitioner. Now, I get this question from a lot of people, so I thought a little video about what it means to me and why I work as a solitary would be helpful. So if you have questions, maybe you're not sure if this is the right path for you, I really hope that this video helps. So had to reposition myself on the deck because it got really windy down at the lakefront, and not only was it blowing my hair everywhere, it was making the audio go a bit funky. So we will continue, and we're here back on the deck, still on Tinook Lake. So let's carry on. Of course, you can be solitary in anything, so not necessarily just about being a witch, but this video is about my earth-based practice as a solitary. Now, full disclosure, I am an introvert, and I don't know if this has had a major impact on my choice to be a solitary or not. Now, being an introvert, it really doesn't mean that we don't like people or we're shy and withdrawn around them. It isn't about that at all. It really is more about where we get our energy from. So for an extrovert, it's in the external world. So it's, people and the conversation that really energizes an extrovert. For an introvert, it's internal. Now, if you're an extrovert solitary, pop a comment below, because I'd love to know whether solitary path is an introvert thing or not. Now, being a solitary means that our magical practice and our rituals are performed solo, so we're not part of a group or coven or organization. We get to create and perform our magic and our rituals. It really is complete spiritual autonomy. Now, I didn't start my magical path that way. In fact, I spent a short amount of time within a Wiccan coven. Now, my neighbour was a Wiccan priestess, and she was really very generous with her time and her teaching, and very welcoming. But it really became abundantly clear to me that Wicca was not my path, and neither was coven life. I felt that it was rigid, there was a hierarchy, and there were lots of rules. And, I think perhaps I'm a wild child at heart. Things really need to make sense to me, and being told, well, they're just the rules, it really didn't jive. Now, I am happy to abide by a rule, but it has to have a purpose and it has to have a meaning. So instead of me expanding, I shut down. So I knew it wasn't for me. Now, of course, that could have just been that one particular coven. I'm not suggesting that all covens are like that, or that it's a feature indeed of the Wiccan religion. Many people find their joy with Wicca and also with coven life. It's just not for me. And maybe it's not for you either, as I assume that you're watching this video because, well, maybe you're curious about solitary practice, or maybe you're even practicing this way currently. So it became abundantly clear to me that I wanted to create my own magical spell work and rituals. I wanted to choose what I did and when I did it. I wanted to explore many forms of witchcraft and really find my own truth in that. I wanted to practice, and I wanted to take charge of my own learning. I loved the absolute focus that working solitary gave me. It's my own personal brand of magical practice. Now, some people choose to work solitary because they're unsure or maybe fearful about living openly as a witch or earth-based practitioner. And I get that. Not everybody is supportive of this lifestyle. And I've had some interesting conversations with family and friends over the years about my choice to be a magical practitioner. Now, if this is you, I'd recommend finding a few people who share your beliefs. Go to the places where these people tend to hang out or frequent. So maybe a local metaphysical shop, maybe a metaphysical fair. Find out what's going on in the area where you live and join in. Find some like-minded people that you can chat to and maybe even develop some friendships with. Now, there are challenges to working as a solitary. If you're new to the practice and a solitary practitioner, it can be really hard to learn. Having a mentor or a group to learn from can be really, really helpful. But you don't have to go full coven to find those key people in your life. You know, I've benefited from the mentorship of many magical practitioners from a whole wide variety of paths, and consequently my practice is quite eclectic. So what I've relied on in my learning journey is the trust in my own intuition. You know, you can just feel if something doesn't resonate with you. Now, it doesn't mean that that thing's wrong necessarily, it's just not for you. So anything that doesn't resonate, I let go of. And the things that do resonate, well, I test out for myself, I experience it for myself, and if I like it, I incorporate it. Now, this is the same if you read something in a book or you watch a video. Filter it through your intuition and say, does this resonate for me? Now, remember, magical practice is a practice. You have to do it, not just hear about it or read about it. So this brings me to my next point. It's about being accountable for our practice as a solitary. Now, accountability comes in two forms. So firstly, it's about being ethical in our magical practice. And secondly, it's about practicing regularly. Now, a group does help to hold us accountable for our magical actions and our intentions, and also the regularity of our practice. So as a solitary, we need to build in some fail-safes with those two aspects of witchcraft. Now, I have a strong ethical basis for my practice, and that serves me well. It guides my work, and if you don't have an ethical framework yet, and you're working or you want to work as a solitary, well, I really recommend you start exploring what that means for you and create one for yourself. Really think about what harm none means to you and how you apply it in your practice. And you'll find it a little bit more complex than perhaps you might think. Now, using a structure to help guide our practice is also a way to stay accountable and to actually perform our magic. So the quarter and the cross-quarter days, wheel of the year, the lunar, solar and even weekday cycles really help to guide our practice. So I'd recommend committing to a structure and write it down on your calendar, and that will help you to stay on track and perform magic at the key times that you've identified. Now, some solitary practitioners do get lonely in their practice, and that's why many solitaries take opportunities to come together to share ritual from time to time. And this can be around the Wheel of the Year celebrations or moot gathering or just get-togethers. And in this day and age, these gatherings can be online even. Now, this is still a struggle for me. I'm work in progress. I still get overwhelmed by such gatherings. In this lifetime, I'm on a journey of community and connection. I've witnessed many past lives and been taken to the point where I made my transition, and in each life I've died alone. So this is a theme and it's really impacted me profoundly. So I am trying really hard to change this in this lifetime. However, I do have a tendency to isolate myself. So as I say, I'm work in progress. As I mentioned before, I have benefited from many great mentors in my life and still do. Having a couple of people that you trust, who you can ask questions of, share thoughts and experiences with, and check in once in a while has been really important in my solitary practice. And it's allowed this to be successful for me. So that's something that you might want to think, finding those key people in your life that are going to help you. So finally, my path as a solitary is joyful, it's fulfilling, and it's beautiful. So whether you choose this path or not, the point is that you get to choose what is best for you. Like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, maybe even a like, and I hope that you consider subscribing and maybe even share the channel with like-minded people in your community. Talking as a solitary, this platform is a great way to connect with people all over the globe, maybe even help them define their path, be a virtual mentor and support people. Ta-ta for now.